Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be conducting a World Series based on a recently completed sim auction involving the players from the 1946 Cleveland Indians, the 1947 Boston Braves, the 1996 Chicago White Sox, the 2000 Montreal Expos, and the 2000 San Francisco Giants. Now, if you'd like to get more details on these teams, please take a look at my auction video. You'll be able to take a look at the little intro I do there for that video, which gives you a little bit more insight into the teams, and of course, see the actual auction video as well. Now, as you know, in the sim auction version of the World Series, we played through entire seasons with the newly created teams. We use the APBA computer game to play the seasons, and all the teams are managed by computer managers. In the sim auction version of the World Series, each team, or rather each season, counts as one game. And then the team that wins 4 seasons wins the sim auction World Series. By simulating entire seasons, we eliminate some of the randomness that is inherent in the traditional 4 out of 7 game World Series format. So before we dive into the actual simulations, let's take a quick look at the teams that resulted from the auction. So let me pull up our teams. This is something that we normally do at the end of the auction. We also do it as an introduction to the sim. So let me pull up the teams here. So Nick's not here. Let me do a quick recap of his team, and then we'll slide right into your team, Teddy. So let's see. And I'm just going to hide the little zoom window that's obstructing my view on my screen. Let me just hide that a little bit. There we go. All right. So Nick's team, pretty decent hitting. I like what he did with the foundation, with $40 on Thomas, $30 on Elliott. I don't think those are overpays for those players. So he got a nice foundation. And then he backed it up also with Tony Phillips and Dave Martinez. So I thought he did a nice job with that. And I also thought he did a very nice job of blocking me on this guy, Connie Ryans, because when he came up during the auction, I actually needed a second baseman. And, Nick had the money and he bid me up, and I just didn't want to go to 12 for this guy. So he did a nice job of blocking, which is one of the things that you need to do in the auction. During the auction, it's not just about getting the players that you want. It's also about price enforcing, because if you allow your opponent to get a player they need at an unfair price, that only ends up hurting you in the long run. So hitting pretty good. And then on the pitching side, he did get 2 decent pitchers, starting pitchers, in Embry and Alvarez. But it does go downhill after that in terms of his starters. Pavano is good, but grade 11 is good, but he's only got 97 innings. Bill Travers at 13 was a little bit of an overpay. But at that point, this is lot 114 in the auction. So at that point, he kind of needed to get those innings. So it's understandable why that ended up being a little bit of an overpay.
I think that might have just been his last $13. So
That's right. Good.
I think
Good.
oh wait, maybe not. No. Well, I'm not sure.
You might be right. Come to think of it, because I
Yeah.
know he did
I
spend.
can't imagine that guy going to $13 with
Yeah,
otherwise.
let me look at that again. No, you're absolutely right, Teddy. He could have had him for a few dollars, and he ended up spending all the money. So you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point. Good catch. I totally forgot about that. But having said that, still a grade 3 is not a great starting pitcher. So obviously that's going to have an impact. And then in terms of relief, I like Strickland, but it's only 48 innings. After that, the relief gets just a little bit sketchy and potentially could be a bit of a Achilles heel for his team. All right, that covers Nick's team. Let's move over to your team, Teddy. So what do you think about that hitting?
Yeah, I mean the hitting is definitely the strength. I probably should have saved a little more for some pitching, for more pitching, but the hitting's pretty strong. There's not really any major weaknesses, I don't think, on the hitting side. I know Hegan might play some, but for the most part, I think my hitting's very strong.
It is, man.
Um,
You have the best. You have the strongest hitting of any of the teams. I like Edwards. I really wanted Edwards, but you snagged him at 15. Actually, you snagged a couple of players that I had my eye on. Turgeson was another one that I would have wanted. So good job. And then you didn't overpay for Guerrero either.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know if I was overpaying for these guys or not, but
no, no, I don't think you overpaid for anybody. So good job. And then let's slide over to the pitching side. So obviously you got the big horse and Feller at 73. So which tied the record. So good job there. And I know I was in it with you at 72. Um, I didn't look at the video yet. I didn't start editing, but do you recall, was anybody else there with you and me on that level of bidding, or did somebody did
I think everybody besides us was out
that
at least
that's
10
what
points earlier.
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because that's
But
what I mean. That's what I mean about price enforcing. I didn't really want Feller, but I just couldn't let you have him for less than what I thought he was worth. Because
yeah,
that, yeah,
I don't know if I don't know if my ranking my points on guys were crazy, but I actually had him a little higher than that.
so did I.
But
So did I.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. With Feller, my strategy was, I wanted to make you pay a fair price, but I didn't want to get too close to my value for him because then you could have just turned around and, let me have him.
right.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to get him up to a level that I thought, okay, I'm going to give Teddy some profit, but not a lot of profit.
Would you have been happy with him at 72?
Um, I would have taken him, but I would not have been happy because
Okay.
he wasn't in my plans. But
Yeah.
was he worth 72? Was he worth 73? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, so I was a little bit more, and I'll get to that when I get to my team. I was a little bit happier with Spahn at 60 because at least that's a few more dollars for me to play with.
Yeah.
All right, so Feller, good job on that. What do you think about the rest of the staff, though?
Um, well, I think I might be underestimating how bad the W's are. I guess we'll see. Ali Reynolds being an 8W, I thought might be an okay second guy, but with the W, he might be bad. So I don't know. I'm kind of relying on Reynolds and Ortiz being at least so-so, and so I don't know how bad they'll be, but if they're as bad as I think they could be, then maybe that could definitely sink the season for me. So
Yeah, it's a rough rule of thumb, but generally the W is probably a -2 on the grade as a
yeah.
as a rule of thumb. Yeah. So let's see. So you got Reynolds, Ortiz, obviously those are your three man, but then the Sim's going to rely on somebody else also to get some starts. Probably Cy Johnson, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
Cy Johnson is actually probably better as a starter than Ortiz, but
um, technically yes, because of the Z. Because he starts out at let's see, he starts out at a five starter Z. No, they'd be kind of about the same because if you say actually a little bit, yeah, Cy Johnson would be a little bit better than Ortiz.
yeah.
Um, and then in terms of your relief, besides Lemon, that could be a little bit of an Achilles heel for you because after Lemon, it does get a little dicey on the relief side.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that gives you a little bit of a sense of your team there. Let's see. Let's see. Jason's not here. We'll go do a quick recap of his team. Obviously, those top three guys are great. Bonds, Kent, and Boudreaux. Those are a nice foundation. After that, there's some opportunities. So Jason's going to end up probably with three weak spots. One of them being catcher. Ashby basically is going to have all those at bats. Um, Outfield, Roland Office is going to get quite a few at bats as well. And there was one more, if I remember correctly. Oh yes, first base, Muser will get the bulks of the at bats. So he's going to have three hitters that are OPS below 600, manning three positions. So that obviously could be impactful in a negative way. But if he gets a lot out of the top two guys, then some of that will be mitigated. And then on the pitching staff, the top two guys are great. Fernandez and Hernandez. I like those two. And actually, I had I ended up with Warren Spahn. I actually would not have wanted Spahn. I would have targeted Fernandez, but I was trying to force it, price and force on Spahn also. So I guess you would say I got stuck with Warren Spahn. Hard to get stuck with a 20 grade pitcher, but my point is I really wasn't calculating him being on my team. I would have much preferred Fernandez.
Yeah,
So
I had Spawn higher than what you got him for, but I felt like I couldn't possibly afford to get both Feller and Spawn.
that would have been dicey for you because you would have
Yeah.
locked up almost $140. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Um, So but I mean, I thought I got profit on Spahn, but I still would have preferred to get Fernandez, and that would have given me a little bit more flexibility. But again, when you price and force, the risk is you might get stuck with the player. So, um, so nice job by Jason with those top two guys. Let's see, what else does he have in starter? It gets a little dicey after the top two, though. Reuter, not bad. Not bad at all, actually. He's a 7Z, but Cashner is a little dicey at a grade 3. And then I think Falcone ends up getting some starts as well for him. So, and obviously he's a 4WL, so that's not great. But the strength here of his pitching staff obviously is he's got the two best relievers. He's got Nen and he's got Roberto Hernandez. Now, I thought the Hernandez price was excellent. I thought the Nen price was a little bit of an overpay. But still, you end up with those two guys at the end of games, and if you're close, you can win some games. So, all in all, not a bad play. All right, let's slide over to Anthony. What do you think, Anthony?
Overall, pretty happy with the hitting. Made sure to basically not have to have any extra hitters need to play, I feel like, with every position, and then covered all of the platoon splits pretty well as well with each position.
Yeah, you did a great job with the platoon splits because when I was keying in your lineups, I noticed that you pretty much had both sides covered. Like you didn't have any platoon exposure. Yeah, that was awesome. Good job on that. And you're right. You don't have any weak spots. You're very much like Teddy. Not, no real weak spots in terms of the lineup construction. So good job. And you didn't pay. Your highest paid guy is Ventura at 29. So you didn't go into the 30s for anybody. So yeah, nicely done. Very disciplined auction. And then on the pitching side, your ace was Barrett, who I also liked him quite a bit. Um, how do you feel about the rest of the staff?
Uh, Not too bad, honestly, with compared to some of the other staffs. Tried to
Yeah,
avoid W's as much as I could and get
yeah.
guys with high control. So
You only got two, so that's really good. Um, Estes, he's got a W, but he's got a G, which helps out a little bit. So he suppresses the home runs a bit. Gardner at 6Z is not horrible. Um, the relief is a little bit weak, but Steve Klein is nice. 11Z lefty, that's not bad at all.
mhm.
So, and even your worst starter, really, because you put Hermanson in your rotation, is a 5. So with no W. So it's a decent staff when you consider the amount of hitting that you have. So good job.
Almost the entire staff is from 2000.
Good point. I don't think that was intentional. Was that, Anthony?
No, not at all.
All right. Let's slide over to my team here. Let me start with the pitching first. So again, I didn't really have Spahn in mind, but again, I wasn't upset about getting him at 60 because I still think even at 60, there's some profit there. So I'm okay with that. I actually didn't think I was going to get Sane. So I'm happy with him at 40. And then the rest of the staff is solid. There's no W's, a lot of Z's. I got some decent relief with Felix Rodriguez and Castillo. So I think in terms of the pitching, I probably have the best pitching overall. So I think if my team's going to win, it's going to be based on pitching, of course. But again, that's an example of a pitcher that I didn't necessarily want, but I'm not upset about it because I thought I paid a decent price for him. And then on the hitting side, not a lot of sexy names, but I still got a lot of decent value, I thought. Um, I thought Baines was probably worth a little bit more than what I paid for him, but I thought his price was suppressed because you were limited to only DHing him. And I thought that might have suppressed his price a little bit, but in terms of his offensive output, I think it's excellent. Let me see what else. I thought I got some profit on Tommy Holmes, profit on Lee Stevens. Siri was another one. Tartable, I thought I got profit on. Fleming. So I think I held back on my money and I was able to pick up some pretty decent hitting talent there at the end. Now, mind you, I still have three spots that are not great. My shortstop is not great. He's okay, but he's still going to need help from some other guys that have below 600 OPS. My catching situation is not great with Borders and Humphrey. And then my primary second baseman is Mike Phillips, who again is a below 600 guy. So I got profit, but there's still definitely some holes in my hitting, which hopefully doesn't bite me too much. So, all right, that gives us a recap of the teams. Let me pull up the APBA screen and we'll get to some of the sims. Now, remember, I do save the stats after every season. So there'll be a little bit of a lull there while I go into the other module of APBA to save the stats. But let's see what we got here, starting with season 1. Here we go. Again, just confirming we're starting 0-0. Yes, we are. All right, here we go, guys. So as you know, I'll stop periodically to review the standings. The sims go, as you can see, very quickly. So very early on, let's see what the early going shows. Teddy in first place. Teddy, you're off to a great start. Still anybody's
I'm not
sim,
expecting that to continue, but
yeah,
happy to see it.
But you're in first. All right, let's pull it up again. Standings. Steady, steady, Teddy. Look at this. You are running away with it.
Huh. Well,
all right, let's see. Let's keep this going here. Let's check again. Still in the lead. I'm in second, 10.5 out, but this is after 62 games, so a good chunk of the season. We're past the All-Star break. Let's pull up the standings again. I bit into it a little bit, but you still got an 8.5 game lead. All right, let's check again. Whoa, 1.5 game lead. Teddy, 2-8 the last 10, 6-4 on me. Making this interesting. And I jump in the lead by half a game. We're just going to keep it right here, guys. 2.5 game lead, but no magic number yet. Teddy, you're staying right in there. 1.5 game lead. I see a magic number now. Teddy, you're right on there. Half a game lead. 26 magic number. Teddy jumps into first place now. 18 magic number. Teddy, half a game lead. 11 magic. Uh-oh, I think you got this. Let's see if there's any rainouts. Schedule rainouts. We got one. It happens to be your team and Nick's team.
could be decisive, I guess.
Let's see. I think you probably have this, but let's see.
Well, I
Nick
lost it.
Nick beats you. Let's take a look at the final standings. Oh, yes, you did. You won. My team
Wow.
loses. My team loses the last 6, so that's not a way to end the season.
Well,
Nice.
I was 12-4. I was 12-4 in extra inning games, and you were 3-10. So
That's the difference right there.
yeah,
Yep.
Did you
Yep.
win by 4 games?
Yep.
I did.
Good
Yeah.
job. So
At the
Teddy
final
wins the.
game. For the first season. It's whoever wins 4 seasons first, though.
All right. So let me record this. All right, so Teddy is at 93 victories. My team was at 89. Anthony at 74. Jason's at 72. And then Nick is at 72. So first season goes to Teddy. Yeah, everybody else just couldn't quite get going. Anthony 19 out, Jason, Nick 21 out. So it was pretty much this first season was between me and Teddy. So, all right, let me save these stats and we'll come back and re-race this season and we'll do the second season. So give me just a minute. As you guys know, one of the peculiarities of the APBA program is they sort of separate the games into different modules. And then the stat module is a totally separate module I have to go into. And then we'll actually look at the stats for the very last season, the deciding season. So, all right, looks like I got everything saved. Let me pull up. Actually, let me close the Stat Master screen first. All right, let's go over here and we are going to reset the stats. So we wipe out the stats for the first season and sets us up for the second season. So we're back to 0-0. All right, here we go. Season 2 is underway. There we go. Let me reshare those. Okay. What about now, guys? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yep. We can see it. Yep.
Okay, good. So when I paused the sim, we were at, let's take a look at the standings and I'll restart it again. So my team's got a slim lead over Anthony, but Nick, Jason, and Teddy, everybody's in it. So I paused it out, obviously, when you guys said that you couldn't see it. So we'll restart it now. Here we go. Right, still very early, but let's take a look at the standings. All right, my team's got a 4-game lead over Anthony, 4.5 over Teddy, 5.5 and 6. So everybody's still in it, very early still. Take another look. Anthony jumps into the lead after 57 games. Jason now is only 1 game back, but everybody's in it except Nick. So we're past the All-Star break. Let's take a look.
I think I just lost a lot of games there.
Jason jumps into the lead now.
Wow.
And yeah, Teddy, you're still right there, 5.5 out. Anthony right behind, and so am I. Actually, we're going to keep it right here now. Jason in the lead. I'm right behind them, half a game out. Anthony and Teddy still right in it. Jason holding on.
Once again, Andy, your extra inning record is really
yeah. I could have used a better closer than the one I have. Jason's got a magic number. Anthony's still within striking distance. Magic number. Not budging from 4 games out. 3 games out, I'm behind him now. 2 games out, 11 magic number. 1 game out, 6 magic number. Oh, I jump in the lead. 1 magic number of 1. Let's see what happens here. Any rainouts? No rainouts. Final tally. Oh, a tie. Look at this, you guys. So now we have to go to the run differential tiebreaker. Let me record this first. Very exciting. All right, so my team 88. Anthony, you were right there till the end, but you won 5 in a row, but you still ended up 7 out. You made it interesting. And then Teddy, what your team must have been celebrating after season 1, Teddy.
Yeah, that one did not go so well.
No, they must have had a hangover or something. I don't know. All right, so Jason and me at 88. Anthony at 81.
So who officially won that season?
Not decided yet. We're gonna go check the run differential.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. So the first tiebreaker is run differential. So I'm gonna have to pull up the other screen and share that with you guys so we do it together. Let's see, Teddy 68. And then finally Nick at 75. All right. So we'll get to review the stats for season 2 and the last season because we need to do the math here on run differential. So let me minimize this, pull up the StatMaster module.
I think you've got it on run differential.
Typically in the sims, because I had a couple of tiebreakers in the test sims that I did, and because my pitching was actually pretty good usually, I typically won the tiebreakers if it's a run differential. I think I had 2 of them, but we don't know. We're going to have to find out.
Well, I saw the one run records, and you had done worse in 1-run games, which suggests you won more blowouts.
Yeah,
but
we'll see. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is just save these stats first, and then I'll share with you guys what I'm seeing. I just want to save it first, or else I'll forget it. Standard and summary. Okay. Okay, that's saved. Let me share this screen so we can do the math together. Can you guys see the yellow screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let's pull out my calculator here if I can't do the math in my head, but let's just take a quick look here. So my team, 789 on the runs scored, 623 on the runs given up.
Yeah, and Jason has a negative run differential, so you're good.
Yeah. So yeah, Jason is at, you're right. Yep.
That is not a close tiebreaker.
No, that is not a close tiebreaker at all. Good point.
That's a lot of unearned. Isn't that a lot of unearned runs there for both your team and I guess mine too? 80.
Well, if your team and my team during the Sims had the worst defense, so that makes sense. Yeah, 122 errors. Yeah, compared to Anthony's team, which had 72 errors only. So that
got it.
Yeah, that was definitely not one of the strong points for my team. So
yeah.
All right, let me jot down what the numbers were actually so I can save them. So this is 789, 623, 166.
Yeah.
And then for Jason, the negative is going to be
negative 74.
74. Yep. Okay. Wow, that is interesting. All right, so I saved this already. That takes care of that. And then I'm just going to add a little note over here on the tiebreaker. So Andy's team, Andy is plus 166. Jason is minus 74. All right, that takes care of that. So it couldn't be any closer. After 2 seasons, I have 1 and Teddy has 1. And let's go back to our main screen and wipe out those stats. And do season 3. So reset stats. And should be at 0-0 again, and we are. All right, here we go. Season 3 is about to get going. See it now? Okay, good. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Let's see, where I stopped it was right at the very beginning, so it should be, yeah, just...
I think I'm actually good with stopping it right here.
All right, we're done. All right, so let's keep going here. I got to do next day. Yep. Okay, here we go. All right, very early on, but let's take a look at the standings here. Teddy in the lead, but still anybody's game here. Let's take another look. All right, it got a little bit tighter even. Teddy's still in first after 44, but anybody could win this right now. Let's take another look. Anthony jumps into the lead, but Teddy is right behind. The only one that's fading a bit is Nick. So we're past the All-Star break. Let's take another look. Anthony in the lead by 1. I think we're just going to keep it right here. 89 games in. Anthony leading Teddy by 3.5, leading me by 5. Anthony by 5, by 9 over me. Anthony's looking very good in this one. Anthony's got a magic number now.
Jason in second.
Yep. Magic number, but Jason cut into it a bit. Now 4.5 and 4.5, both Jason and I. 3 now, Anthony with 12 magic number. Oh, I jumped into first. 7 magic number. Let's see what happens. Do we have any rainouts? No rainouts. Do we have a drum roll? Drum roll. Final standings. Oh, I win by 2.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, nice comeback by my team there, because at one point, if I remember correctly, I think I might have been like 9.5 out at some point.
Wow, you once again terrible extra inning record.
What is going on with the extra inning? Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's not like I don't have a decent closer. I do. It's Felix, not Felix, Rodriguez, the guy who used to be the closer for the Angels.
Oh, Francisco Rodriguez?
Francisco, yeah. And he's a great 16. So I'm not sure. Maybe at that point he's already been out of the game. That's probably what it is. But wow, that was exciting. That was an exciting one. Anthony, I thought you had that one.
Yeah, I guess pitching probably at the end is what killed me again.
Yeah, I think the because again we talked about it. I think after Steve Klein, it gets a little dicey on the relief side for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that one was close. All right, so Anthony's at 87. Jason's at 86 in this one. This, I think, was Jason's. No, Jason had an 88. Yeah, so Jason's had a couple of decent seasons. Teddy, you're at 80. And then Nick is at 58. So that was a rough season for Nick's team. All right, so 3 seasons in the books. Let me just save this one and we'll come back for season 4. Okay, so let me minimize that. Go to our StatMaster module. Let me close that. And then this time I'm just going to verify whether you guys can see that screen, which has not been saved for some reason the last couple of times. Can you see the APBA screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let me erase the stats for season 3. All right, so we got ourselves a World Series here. Every sim has been pretty close. Teddy's, I think the first one is the one you won was the least close, but even that one was pretty close. So really every season has been very, very close. You won by 4 here. I won on a tie differential, and then I won by 2 here. So very, very close, very competitive. All right, here we go, season 4.
I saw you beat me 20-1.
We might need to look at that box score. Actually,
I hope it wasn't Feller pitching.
let's take a quick look.
Probably not Feller.
Let's see. We can take a quick look at that one.
I think it was game 2. There's some other. Oh no. Oh yeah, 20-3. I was looking at
20-3. Wow, we got to look at both of these. All right, so
yeah, that's a high scoring day.
So the first one, I think it was Feller beating Spahn. Let's look at that one.
Okay, Feller beats Spahn 1-0.
Yep, two-hitter by Feller. Spahn didn't pitch badly. It's just that
It
Feller
looks like
pitched.
it's the game started with probably a Vidro double and a Guerrero single, and then that was sort
That
of all I
was
got.
that was it. Yeah, and 5 hits the entire game for both teams. Wow,
Yeah.
that was an old-fashioned pitchers duel. And then let's see these other crazy games here though. So the second game is 20-3. There's your man Ali Reynolds.
That is not a good outing.
And for some reason, the sim manager brought in Ortiz to back him up. That's interesting. That's an interesting.
Fleming was a triple shy of the cycle.
Wow. Oh yeah.
And you pinch hit for him. Your manager pinch hit for him. Didn't give him a chance at the cycle.
Wow.
Huh.
What a slugfest. Okay.
Wow, you scored it. This actually might be the first time I've ever seen this in any game, real or fake. At least two runs in every inning.
Game, you're absolutely
I've never
right.
seen that before.
I don't think I've ever seen that either in any of the sims that we've looked at the box score. Wow.
That's amazing.
All right. So we went from a 1-0 game to a 20-3 game. Wow. Anthony, let's take a look at this one. You beat up on somebody on Nick's team there. So, well, actually, that's actually one of Nick's good pitchers. You beat up on Alvarez. He walked 7.
Guillermo Mota had a rough bullpen outing.
That's there.
Yeah. Wow. Holy cow. And who is the star hitter for your team, Anthony? Frank McCormick. 6 for 7. Wow.
You only had 2 extra base hits. Wow. Those are almost all singles.
Incredible. That is so cool. You know what's really cool to me? Keep in mind this game was built in the 90s. And you guys see how, and obviously it's been improved over the years. I mean, I think we're on version 5.75. But my point is, it's pretty cool that this program can simulate all these games in a heartbeat and then produce a solid box score like this that tells you exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Sure. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Let's see where we stopped. We stopped. Sorry, Anthony. Go on.
I was going to say, it was kind of interesting. I had 13 guys left on base and still scored 22 runs.
You're right. It could have been
your team walked 16 times.
Yes. It could have been worse for Nick's team if you think about it. Yeah, when you leave 13 men on. Wow. That's awesome. All right, let's see where we are with the standings, wherever we left off. Let's take a look. All right, so my team's got a slim lead. We're only 26 games into the season. Obviously, anybody can win this one, but it's pretty close, which has been the case for every one of these so far. All right, let's see. Let's move things along. There we go. All right, let's take another look. All right, slim lead, still anybody's game here after 42 games played. Nick is in second right now, half a game out. Jason, Teddy, and Anthony, everybody's in it. We should be pretty much nearing the All-Star break here. Here we go.
Is that the halfway point?
Yep, halfway point right there. Let's take a look. All right, so my team just won 7 in a row, 4.5 game lead over Jason. The rest of you guys are dropping back a bit. So right now it's between Jason and my team. I just lost 2 in a row. Jason's 3 out. Teddy's making a run though, 8 out now. 5.5 game lead over Jason. Teddy back to 10. I don't know what happened there. Opened it up to 9.5 games now. Back to 8. I got a magic number now. Everybody else is pretty much out of it, maybe, but Teddy 12.5. Magic number of 21. Magic number of 14. Jason 7 out. Magic number of 6 now. Let's let this run out. And let's take a look at whether we need any rainouts. No rainouts. Final tally for season 4. This time I did a little bit better on the extra inning games, which made a difference. All right, so season 4 is in the books for me. Let's see, Jason at 85. Jason's had a couple of solid seasons in a row.
I'm a little surprised that his team is doing so decently with so many extra hitters.
Agreed. Well, I think it's got to be the top 2 guys in his rotation plus those 2 killer closers.
Yeah, he is good pitching for sure.
Yeah. And then Nick is at 66. All right, so we have 4 seasons played here. Let me go save season 4, and we'll come back for season 5. And then what I'll do when we're all done too is I'll show you, I did 4 test simulations. I'll show you the results of that as well so you guys could see what the test sims look like, because there was one test sim that was really, really interesting. All right, so let's see. I got this recorded. Let me go to the other module and save the stats.
You said you have 4 test seasons?
I did 4 test seasons, 4 test simulations, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you what those look like too. All right, let me minimize this screen and bring up the stat master so I can save this season. All that is saved. Let me bring up the league manager screen again. So guys, confirming you can see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. So let's erase the season 4 stats. And here we go. Season 5 is on its way. All right, very early on, let's take a look at the standings. Anthony, 1 game lead over me, 3 over Jason. Nick and Teddy right there still, though. Only 21 games in. Take another look here. Jason jumps into the lead. Half over me, 2 over Nick. Anthony's 3.5 out. Teddy, you're fading a bit at 9 now. 46 games played. We are at the All-Star break. Let's take a look. Jason opening it up here. 6.5 over me, 8.5 over Anthony. We're just going to keep it right here now. I bit into it a little bit. 3.5 game lead. Now Anthony's still right there. 4.5, 8.5. Nick's 9.5. Teddy, you're fading at 15 on this one. Looks like Jason might have this one. He's won 7 in a row, opening up a 7-game lead over me, 7.5 over Anthony. Uh-oh, 6.5, but we have a magic number now. Jason's still in control in this one. I think he's got it now. I don't know what happened here, but I'm 11 out now, and Anthony's 9.5 out. So I think this one is over. It sure is. Wow. Jason just ran away with this one.
Oh, yeah, it's already clinched.
Yep, all set. Let's take a look. 1 rain out.
So this is for all the marbles.
This one is dominant performance here by Jason's team. Final tally in this one, 98 victories. Wow.
I came back and had a serviceable season after a pretty bad start.
Yes, you did. Wow. Jason just put everything together in this particular
98. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. All right. Let's log that in there. 98 victories. Very impressive. And really, he only had that first bad season. Everything else has been very, very impressive. 98. Yep. Anthony's at 79. My team's at 78, so my first losing season. 75 for Teddy, 70 for Nick. Wow, very impressive. All right, so the standings now after, let's see, 5 seasons. I have 3 seasons. Teddy, you got one. Jason has one. So let me save season 5, and we will get to season 6. That is saved. So we have 5 seasons in the books. Let's bring up our screen again. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Let's erase the stats here for this season. And here we go. This is going to be season 6 now. All right, let's take a look at the early going. All right, my team and Anthony's team tied, but everybody in it still, only 18 games in. Should be pretty near the 40-game mark. Let's take a look. 38 games played. It's me and Anthony, but everybody else still very close except next team. Let's take another look here. All right, I open it up a little bit at 5.5. This time Jason jumps into second. Anthony drops to third. Teddy 8.5 out. Let's see, we should be past the All-Star break. So let's just keep it.
This might be the last season.
Let's take a look. All right, I opened it up. 1-4, 8-2 for the last 10. Let's keep it right here. See if Jason can make a run. No, it looks like this time I am pulling the same deal as Jason did in the prior season. Sometimes it just all comes together for a team. $117 games played. 20 magic number now. 13 magic, 135 played. 3 magic. We're just going to let her run out. And see if we have any rainouts. Looks like we have at least one.
Have you ever been pretty sure a season was over and then someone came back?
I normally wouldn't say anything like that unless it's like in this case it was what, 14-game lead, 15-game lead. But if it's under 10, I would never say that, because there's been a couple of situations where there were some comebacks at the end.
Yeah.
One that in particular that I have in mind, I think, was with Derek, where I think he had like an 8-game lead with just I think it was an 8-game lead, and I think he lost the last 10 games of the season.
Wow.
So it can happen. All right, final tally, season 6, 99 victories. Yeah, so this was kind of a carbon copy of what Jason did in season 6, except it was my team doing it this time. Jason's at 79. Teddy's 74. So Teddy, you had a magical season 1, and then things just kind of didn't stay consistent.
Yep.
All right, final tally. My team 4 seasons, Teddy 1, and Jason 1. Let me actually before I save, let me save the stats first, because it wouldn't be the first time that I forget to do that, because I wanted to show you the test sims and show you that the results of the World Series that we just did, the sims that we just did, were very consistent with the test sims. But I'll show you that in a second. Let me just save these stats.
Andy, how much do you feel that optimal strategy differs from draft to draft?
I think it's let me just stop for 1 second, because I want to make sure I don't double save stuff. But I want to answer your question, because that's a great question. Well, let's use this draft as an example. So in this draft, I felt like we didn't have as much pitching as we have had in some other drafts. So then the question that I had to ask myself is, do I want to divert more funds into pitching? And that's always like the question that I need to answer. Like how do I divide the money into what I think should go into one side or the other? And in this particular auction, I felt like I needed to put a few more dollars into the pitching side. Um, but I just don't know that there's a perfect answer. I always look at how much hitting there is compared to historical standards with these teams that we select, and then I try to sort of allocate the money where there's a little bit of a lack.
Yeah.
But then there are other auctions that we've done, Teddy, where we've had a lot of hitting and a lot of pitching. In which case, to me, that's a little bit easier because then it doesn't matter. Then I can just kind of even things up and decide that I'm going to spend about the same on both sides of the equation.
Right.
But I don't think there's a perfect, and I've mentioned this before. I don't think there's a perfect strategy, um, because I know Michael. Obviously, you know Michael Danes. He's one with primarily using hitting as a strategy. So I think it depends on the assortment of players. And then the other thing that's cool too, and this I have to thank Steve Andruska for doing this because he's a daredevil. He's more courageous than I am in taking risks. So Steve had an auction in which he went all in, like completely all in on pitching. He spent $220 on pitching. So he only spent $40 on hitting.
Right.
Do you think that worked?
Uh, it might have worked in this list of players. I don't know if it worked.
It didn't in that auction. So it now would it have worked in this one? I don't know. Probably not because the bottom line is you still need to have some hitting. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I just don't think going all in on pitching is going to work because at the end of the day, you're still going to need to score some runs.
Right.
The
I'm
question is,
wondering if my team actually scored the most runs or not.
we're gonna check the last season in a second. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
show you. Now remember, we're only looking at one season now. When I send you the Excel spreadsheet, it'll have all the seasons. More than likely, you scored the most runs because you had the most hitting, I think. But we'll see. All right, got all that saved. Let me pull those reports back up again so I can show you guys this last season. All right. Confirming you can see the yellow screens?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So this is the pitching. Let's take a look. Let me sort this by innings. I mean, Teddy, you can't ask more than that from Bob Feller.
Yeah.
29 and 15, if you like the old school stats, 375 innings. Jeez.
I wonder how did Spahn consistently do better, do you think, from year to year?
Um, I'll know when I compile it all on the Excel spreadsheet. The Spahn's ERA was a little bit better. And Spahn, when you take into account, I think the Z rating was a little bit better overall from a grade perspective.
Yeah.
But still, both of the top guys performed as they should have. Spahn in this last season was ridiculous though. 32 and 6, 159 ERA. My other guy, Sane, did pretty well as well. And then let's look at the pitchers that created some pain. So take a look at Russ Ortiz. 708 ERA. That's not going to do you any favors.
Yeah, and Reynolds too. I think I need to change my view of those ratings because I didn't think an 8W was that bad, but
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
And then pretty much down the line, even like Jason Cashner, another guy who wasn't great, 601 ERA. Bob Lemon didn't do well for you. In a couple of sims, he did the test sims he did, but he was a little bit erratic.
Huh.
And then you have Jason's guys, Roberto Hernandez. That's nice. Almost 97 innings of a 2.61 ERA.
Look at that
My
year
guy,
from Rob Nen. Wow.
yep, Nen 1.16 ERA. So those two guys at the end, they would have secured a lot of victories, I would think. So that gives you an idea of and again, this is only the last season, so you'll be able to see all 6 seasons. So when I send you the Excel spreadsheet, you'll be able to see every season individually, and then I'll have a tab for the average of all the seasons as well. All right, so that covers the pitching for season 1. Let's take a look at the qualitative hitting, which I usually do sort by OPS. All right, so the top guy here is actually one of my guys, even though it's only for 192 PAs, but still, I'll take that. Frank Thomas, as expected. Vladimir Bonds, so some of the usual suspects there up at the top. Jeff Kent, Bob Elliott, your guy De La Rosa, who had some nice at-bats. This guy's a little bit of a surprise there, Lidweiler. Fleming, who I got for $4. There's your guy Torgerson. See if there are any surprises on the negative side of things.
Well, I see Bob Lemon there. Bob Lemon.
There's his 28 at bats. Yeah, the sim manager just had to use him for 28. But you can't complain. He gave you a 717 OPS.
Yeah, that's certainly decent.
Yeah. No real really bad surprises on the negative. Well, actually, Aurelia, that's a little bit of a bad surprise. 656 OPS. All right, so that covers the qualitative part of the equation. Let's take a look at the quantitative. Let's just do a sort by home runs. Guerrero, 51 homers, leads the league in homers. Bonds at 45. So great all-around year by Guerrero. Tardable gives me 33. All right, so no real surprises on the top here. And then what about stolen bases?
Somebody stole 50 bases. Wow.
Look at Ray Durham. Yeah. But far and away the best thief in the auction. 50 and 8. Great percentage, 86%. I think what else? Dave Martinez, not a good percentage.
Yeah, I tried to pick a manager who wouldn't steal too many bases because a lot of my guys were very bad at stealing bases.
Good move. Yeah. Who's that? Darren Lewis, 21. Murray, 18. Yeah, but Ray Durham was really the main base stealer in this one.
Yeah.
I think it helped a lot too with me having Massey at catcher too. So that's the best defense out there.
Good point. Yep. All right, so that covers the quantity. And then the last sheet here is the one that I find really instructive. When you try to figure out, okay, well, what happened? Why didn't my team perform well? Or why did it perform well? You want to look obviously at the OPS. Now, you don't see OPS, but on the Excel spreadsheet, I'll include it. But this sheet doesn't calculate it. But if you look at it, even though Teddy, you on paper have the most hitting, there's not a ton of difference there between my team and your team in this particular season.
Right.
340 OBP, 337, 425, 439. And then when you factor in this piece here, there's a differential of 0.75 run between my team and Jason's team. and that's what led to the victory. And then my team avoided having like an absolutely horrid error season. Yours had a bad season. 147. Huge difference between Jason's team and your team on defense.
Yeah, we had 27 passed balls. Holy crap.
Well, that's because of Estalella. He was a grade 6.
Okay, I didn't. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty egregious.
Yeah. So that definitely hurt you. Now
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been the difference though between you doing better. In other words, your defense did not help you, but I think what ended up hurting more than that would have been the pitching.
Yeah, I do
So
see I allowed the most walks by far, so
yeah,
that's probably some of it.
correct. That's something that definitely is an impact. And again, this is just one season. When I compile it all together, you'll be able to glean a little bit more information from that as well. So I think that wraps it up, you guys. Let me stop sharing this. Actually, I want to show you one more thing. The test sims. Let me pull that up.
So why do you think that happens where I had the most offense, but it didn't really show up that much?
Well, keep in mind that you have the most offense, but in 40 of those games, you're going up against my pitching, which is better than average. So I think that's part of the reason why you're off. And by the way, this is only one season. In the majority of the seasons that I simmed, you did definitely have the best offense. So
Okay.
this one was one where you and I were neck and neck, but most of the time you end up with the best offense.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me pull up the test sims here.
The
I don't think you
overall
did.
strategy didn't really work despite
Yeah.
feeling like I got everyone at a reasonable price.
I don't think you overpaid. I just think that after Feller things got a little thin. But I don't think you overpaid. I mean, I don't think you overpaid for Feller either, to be honest with you. I had him priced higher than that.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I think probably I've underrated how bad the W's are.
Yeah. And in future auctions, again, the rule of thumb that you probably want to use is if the guy's got a W, take like 2 points off his grade. That'll give you a better assessment of his grade.
Yeah, and I think I've been taking like 1 point off. I think that's
Yeah.
probably not enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you take 2 points off, you're going to be right on, you'll be able to access it the right way.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, just thank you. I'm going to try to do another one for February. Again, if you guys typically I've been doing two themes, either the Hall of Famers best season or just a random World Series team. But if you guys want to see specific teams, let me know and I'll be more than happy to throw them in there. If I don't hear from you, then I'll just pick 5 teams. And I know a lot of times that's easier because when I ask people to pick a team, there's just so much to choose from that it's kind of like paralysis by analysis. So I'll definitely I can choose the teams and then I'll pick a day in February and we'll see if maybe we can get another one in before everybody starts to prep for fantasy baseball. So,
Sounds good.
Yes, sounds good. I have
great.
an idea though, Andy, for teams possibly.
Say that again, Anthony.
Had an idea for like the pool of teams to choose from that might be fun.
Sure,
Doing
sure.
teams that had both the MVP and Cy Young winner that year on them.
That's pretty cool.
Might just be an interesting little twist or something to do. But
yeah. I wonder how many times that's happened.
Well, it depends, I guess, if you include guys who did both in the same year, because you have like I know Kershaw and Verlander had an MVP and Cy Young year. I think Koufax got the MVP one year.
It's happened 18 times in the list I'm looking at right now.
Okay. But wait, I'm confusing it. So you're saying you're not saying an MVP and a Cy Young like two different players. You're saying the same guy winning both awards.
Oh no, I'm saying like Miguel Cabrera and Max Scherzer on like the 2013 Tigers, where they both won that award the same season.
Got it. Okay. Can you snip that information and send it to me? Where did you find it on Baseball Reference?
MLB.com actually had a list that they ran with all of that, so I can send that over to you.
Yeah, that'd be great because I like that. That's a great idea. That would be a fun little theme that we haven't tried before. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would have done that.
Yeah, that's a cool little idea. I like it. Okay, that'll introduce a little new twist into it.
I
So,
wonder if Maddox and Chipper Jones ever did it.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
if
was
Chipper got an MVP.
the
he did.
Braves 91 was Terry Pendleton and Tom Glavine. That's the only
Oh,
time they
there you go. Okay.
Terry Pendleton is a random MVP.
He sure is. He sure is. And honestly, I don't even think he should have gotten it that year if you look at his stats. But anyway. All right, cool. Well, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, if you can send that to me, that way I don't have to search for it. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, yep, that's fine.
Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right, guys. I'll get busy compiling all the seasons into the Excel sheet, and I don't know if I'll send it out tonight, but definitely sometime tomorrow for sure. And then take a look at that, and you'll probably be able to glean more information about what worked and what didn't work. Great. Thank you,
Sounds good.
guys. All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a great night. Okay. Bye bye.
Sure.